Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Off-Axis Builds. Today we're going to be putting in the 4 lines underneath the car. I got the gas, the clutch, the brake, and the air line to install. The reason why I'm going underneath is because I want to hide the airline, or hide all those lines. I don't really want to dig into the tunnel, figure out a way to attach it in there, so I'm going to put it all underneath the car. It's going to be nice and clean. I'm going to be putting some covers over it so it'll be protected. I'm not too worried about that. And that's the reason why we made that press in the last video. So, or adjusted that press, I should say. So we're going to be using that guy on this project. It's going to be a fun little project. Let's go ahead and get the car off the ground. I'm going to probably lift it up about a foot or two, as high as the jacks will allow me, so I can crawl underneath there and work comfortably. I will make sure that it's stable and all that, so not to worry on that. But let's go ahead and get the rear end jacked up, put the 2 jack stands underneath there, and then get the front off the ground as well. All right. Alright guys, so I'm not going to worry about blocking the wheels, only because the front end's already off the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this all the way underneath and get it to the transmission bracket and lift up from there. You can lift from the engine, but I'm going to get further back and just lift from the heavy duty bracket instead of the engine. Alright guys, if you don't have a pair of these, you need to get some. They're really convenient. They have a little jack on the side, okay? They also come with this locking mechanism, which is very, very important when you do something like this where you're lifting a car. You want to be able to lock it in place, okay? So I locked it in one of those grooves. Let me see that, one of those grooves right there, okay? So now this thing, if I lose pressure in the jack, it won't come down. It acts as like a normal jack like the ones I have up front. Okay, so pretty happy with how it's sitting. Just gonna go ahead and clean out underneath it and attempt to figure out what I need to do. Okay, so we're gonna attach it right in that groove there in the center. Okay, all 4 lines will be running through there. So I'm not too concerned about it rubbing, only because looks like the pan won't even rub, so I think we'll be in the clear there. But let's go ahead and figure out the size on the width of it and the length of it. All right, guys. All right, guys, so where I'm going to be mounting these is up underneath where I'd have my gas tanks. Okay, so I've actually will have 2 gas tanks here. So where I'm going to be mounting them, I'm going to be putting 2 holes on this side and 2 holes on this side to go underneath and follow this tunnel all the way back. Okay, so what I have a clutch line and 2 brake lines. One will be for the front, one will be for the back. So obviously that back one I'll need to take all the way back to the back part of the car. Now, so what I plan on doing is putting a clutch and brake on this side. Okay, actually, yeah, clutch and brake on this side, and then I'm going to do the gas and air line on this side. Okay. So I need to figure out where I'm going to puncture through here, and then I'll turn and just go straight on back follow this tubing all the way back, and let's get underneath the car and I'll show you what my plans are underneath there. Okay, so from this front part, I don't know if you can see that hole right there. Let's see, where is it? There's actually a drainage hole right here. So we'll be drilling probably right about here and here. I'm going to come down. I'm going to follow this center line all the way down to the back, okay? So I'm not too concerned about this hitting the ground, only because the lowest point actually is where the seat mounts, okay? So this won't be too much lower than all the rest of that. So what I'm gonna do is probably build, gotta figure out the dimensions on it, but it looks like from here, okay, to here, I could probably get, I don't know, maybe an 8-inch plus the 1-inch drops. So I'm probably looking at 10 inches across on that. And that'll continue all the way to the front. And then from there, I will make another cover to go over all that probably. Just for details, I'll put some holes into that so you can actually see through, and just to make it look kind of cool. I don't know, kind of follow the theme of the rest of the car with you know, not punctured, but dimple dyed holes and red in there. So we'll see. That's the plan. So let's get started. Alright guys, so I got them set where I want them. The front two are going to be clutch, or excuse me, this one's going to be brake, this one's going to be the clutch, and then this one will be the gas line, and that's going to be the air line. Don't necessarily need the air line, but I will at least have a line to go back to the back if I ever want to put bags on there. If not, at least I'll have something to have the blow off to go back towards the engine like I was saying before. So in any case, let's go ahead and take a look at it underneath. I think it came out pretty clean. I just got to now run all the lines over this hump and from those 3 connections there. All right, looking from underneath, looks pretty clean. Just got to put these where I want them, and then obviously I'll have to bend them to line up with the 4 connections. So that's the next step, and yeah, let's figure out where I'm going to put this thing, and then we'll go from there on these bends. Now what I recommend doing with these bends is bending these all the same, okay, and then coming back and making sure that the length is longer than you need, because then you can slide them back and forth, mark it, and put it in, rather than trying to make an exact measurement and all that. It just becomes more of a headache. Make it longer, cut an inch or 2 off here, not a big deal. Okay. All right guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark a 6-inch mark on all 4 of these. I know one of them or 2 of them I'm going to be cutting quite a bit short, and the other 2 are going to be a little bit longer because of the way it lines up under the car. Not a big deal. It's best to leave a little extra, dry fit it, and then trim it down so you don't have to bend 2 of these. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just make a 6-inch measurement. Okay. Go ahead and take that measurement and transfer it on all 4. So we want to come off here, somewhere over there, and 8 inches somewhere in there. Okay, we'll do the same thing over here. So before I go drilling any holes, I want to double check to make sure I have enough length to be able to bend this and put it in that last hole. I don't think I'm going to, because this middle one is actually going to be sitting here, okay, because I want to be able to turn this one without crossing over on each other. So looking at that now, I need a minimum of 5 inches, and I only have about 4 inches. So I think I'm going to have to come to this one and 6 inches. So I'll scratch that one off and come over here. So now this one will be a little bit closer, and then this one, again, I need 5 inches and I have 6 inches. So I'll just have to cut a little bit off of these two center ones. So we're just gonna go ahead and make another mark here, and then I'll just skip or clean that one off and just make sure I don't drill there. All right, guys, so that came out pretty clean. Exactly what I was expecting it to look like. These are just loose right now, or snug, I should say, just enough so these don't slide out, but not completely tight. I'm gonna leave them like that just in case I need to pull it apart. It'll make it easier in the long run. Let's go to the back section and figure out what I need to do back there. All right, let's go take a look at that. All right, guys, so this little section right here is everything that's behind that back seat. So this last bolt that I have right about here, about 1 inch over, I have that kick panel. So anywhere back here I can insert these pipes. I'm thinking I'm gonna come, the first one 8 inches, the second one will be 10 inches, just have a little 2 inch difference there. That'll get me far enough in to where I don't have to fight that kick panel and all that, so I can just get them placed in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure center point here and come over 8 inches, come over 10 inches. I'll do the same thing on this side over here. And then once that's done, I can put this where it needs to be and bend these pieces into place. So let's go ahead and put some marks and get ready to bend. All right, guys, so I don't do much pipe bending, tube bending, whatever you want to call it. So in order for me to get the exact spot on those, it's just not going to happen. So what I'm going to do is transfer that point to here, that point to here, and then I'll line it up on the center mark of that other thing, and hopefully, and on both lines, and hopefully I'll get close to where those are. I'm not going to drill those until I have these things bent. The reason for that is because I want to know exactly where to drill them. I don't want to drill these holes and then be off with this bend about a ½ inch or whatever. So what I am actually going to do is transfer these two marks, the 6 inch, 8 inch, 6 inch, 8 inch, 8 inch, 6 inch, okay? And that's where I'm going to start the bends. I think that'll just be easier in the long run to do it that way. So let's go ahead and do that. 6. Alright guys, so now that I have all those bent, they pretty much line up right at the white marks that I had, which is great. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this down so I can drill those 2 holes and these 2 holes here. Okay, I'll put the fittings in, and that'll tell me where to cut these things down. Okay, so we'll go ahead and lower this down and start drilling. Alright guys, so we are going to be installing some grommets. Okay, what we're going to be drilling on this is the diameter of the inside part of that groove, okay, which is on this one happens to be 7/8. Some of them are different. You got to take that measurement. You don't want to go too wide, don't want to go too narrow. If you go too narrow, you're going to start pinching this. It'll go in more than likely, but it's just going to pinch and look really weird. So this one's happened to be 7/8. So we're going to go ahead and do a pilot drill with 1/4 inch, and then I'll use a uni bit to get up to that 7/8 size. Okay, so hopefully drilling goes smooth. As always guys, wear your safety glasses. So it looks like I'm gonna have a little trouble with these grommets. You've noticed where the hole got drilled, it was down on this curve. Had it been flat surface, these things would have worked just fine. But because that curve's there, they don't want to sit properly, okay? And one side actually wants to lift out. So I think what I'm gonna have to see that, I'm already pushing it in. What I'm gonna have to do is obviously bolt it on, and then I'll just throw some caulking around it to make sure it's sealed from weather. Basically all this is just to protect, well, protect it from weather and also protect it from scraping on the metal and cutting the pipe. Wow, this stuff is horrible. Oh yeah, something satisfying about that. I'm gonna have to deal with that. Okay, so what we're gonna do is stick these through the other side, and then I'll put all the nuts and everything on the bottom side. That right there is the tube I was talking about. It was originally down there, and there's a wire that goes from one side to the other side that goes down this channel to right there. Okay, I'm not using that, so I'm ripping them out. Obviously, if I was using it, I would be doing something different. So that's what it looks like before I started pulling it out. See that right there? So I just went underneath with a screwdriver, pried it up, and I'm just gonna yank it off the floor. All right guys, so I got the 2 on the passenger side coming on over, and I got the 2 on the driver's side. The angles might not be exactly what I want, which is okay. I'll adjust that later. But they are tight. Let's go ahead and get back underneath the car and get those 4 fittings installed or cut and then installed. lines up there, connected at both ends. Now all that's left is to put the cover plate on, and that'll hold all of these in place, nice and firm against the body. They won't move anywhere. So let's go ahead and get that cover plate up there and see what it looks like. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Off-Axis Builds. Got all those lines ran under the car. Got that cover plate back on. Looks really sweet. I'm happy with how it came out. Just got to pull the cover plate off, paint it, do some detail work on the underbody. Just put some undercoating back on. Anyways, pretty happy with it. Remember, guys, to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell for upcoming notifications. Remember, guys, it's always built, not bought. See you on the next one, guys.